Right, okay, here's another deathmatch. Current reigning champion, who defeated the Chorogumo, is the living statue, metal variant. So, champ takes pride of place in the home turf of the dojo. And who's he going to fight today? Well, I thought what we might try is the, there we go, the Omnorake. Omnorake? Anyway, yeah, the basically the flaming bird, the undead flaming bird. So we'll put that on the other side of the table, shall we? There we go. So yeah, if you can't remember last time, living statue. There we go. Effectively, it's also with the metal. Its big advantage is it's got armor 5 or more, and every time you do too much damage to it, you take a bleeding mark, and so you know, subtract your health, and eventually you get killed that way. It's also got a reasonable amount of damage in combat and a reasonable amount of health. Not the most we've seen, certainly not as healthy or damage output as the Raptor, but might be a bit tougher. It has also a slight chance of being able to pick something up and throw it if it gets. So why did I try the Omnorake? Well, the Omnorake, let's go and put it somewhere you can see it a bit better. There you go. So the Omnorake, its basic attack isn't actually going to damage the statue at all. It's only got damage of 3. The statue is a defense of 4, so it's not going to get through that. It does have a high defense of its own. It's only got defense of 4, so only 1 damage per hit, normal hit from the living statue is going to work. But what the Omnorake does have is it has the ability, effectively, that it sets things on fire, and it's got basically this burning attack. It does, it spits fire. So every turn it's going to spit fire, which actually hits automatically. So you don't need to roll for it. So it's a template normally, but it doesn't really matter for this. We're just going to assume that it hits the only enemy it has. So it might get a paralyze of damage, but it also applies a burning marker. So a burning marker is going to basically tick over damage whilst it's there. And it basically means that the living statue is just going to take an extra set of 2 damage from the burning marker every turn. So the thing was, it might chip away at it. It also regenerates. So I'm thinking, because it's not going to be doing enough damage to the living statue to trigger the jagged metal, it might basically just be able to outlast it. It might just be able to continually regenerate and just do little bits of damage time after time after time. So maybe we shall see. If I'm going to call it, I'm going to go with the Omnorake, because I don't think the living statue is going to be able to overcome the regeneration before the bird burns it to death. So yeah, that's my prediction. Right, so start off, initiative is with the Omnorake. So it will basically move a lot. It's got to move 12, so that's enough to move up to the living statue. It will then attack. I mean, it's got its 2 combat dice that do 3 damage, so they're not going to do anything. But it will then basically do its flame attack and basically just do a gout of fire at the living statue. So that's a peril dice of damage. 4 does not get past the living statue's arm, but it does apply a burning marker. So the living statue has a burning marker. Goes for the living statue's turn. At the start of its activation, if you've got a burning marker on you, you take 2 damage and remove 1 of them. So it takes that away, and there will be potentially 2 damage. Now, arguably thematically doesn't make much sense, but yes, your armour can protect you from burning. So 2 dice, 5 or more, so it protects it from 1. So it basically takes 1 damage. And then it will try and attack the Omnorake. So it's got 4 dice that hit on 5 or more. So that's 2, and one of them is a 6. So the one that is a 5 will just do 1 damage to the Omnorake. The 6 will attempt to pick it up and throw it. Now, the Omnorake is not immune to critical hits. Hadn't really factored that in, so it will just take the 5 damage. Maybe I was a bit overconfident on its lasting. And then it will see if it picks it up. So the Omnorake must roll d6 and see if it gets higher than its initiative. It doesn't, so it is not picked up and thrown. Yep. Okay, so that was round 1. We go to round 2. Start with the Omnorake. It regenerates. How much d6? So it will regenerate 2. There we go. So it takes 3 like that. Well, they attack. Peril dice fire. 4 doesn't do anything again. Puts a burning marker on. Living statue burns. Does the armour take any of it? Takes 1. This is going to be slow, isn't it, actually? Yeah, maybe I've overestimated the Omnorake. Never mind. And then the living statue attacks the Omnorake. Just the 1 hit, which is a pick up and throw, or attempt to, so it gets 5 damage. Is it picked up and thrown? No. So start the next round, round 3. Omnorake generates 4. Breathes fire. 6. So it actually does 2 damage. Does a living statue with armour prevent any of that? It doesn't. So the living statue takes 2 and applies a burning marker. The living statue's turn. Remove the burning marker. Does it take damage? Nope, the armour prevents both of that. Right then. It then tries to attack the Omnorake. 5 or more. 1 hit, which does 1 damage. Round to the Omnorake. Regenerates 3. Breathes fire. Doesn't do anything. Applies a burning marker. Living statue. Burning marker does 2 damage. Oops. Oops. Attacks the Omnorake. Oh, so that's 2 hits that are going to attempt to throw it. So that's 10 damage. It's got 24 because it's 18 plus 6. So we're on 13. Right. Do either of these actually pick it up? If at least one of them, as I say, can't, just reading that, can't grab it twice. Right, it gets grabbed. The bird gets grabbed and thrown. Okay. So, I guess it just throws it. Doesn't particularly matter where it throws it. And does d6 plus 3, ignoring defence. 7. 15, 20, nearly curtains. Let's just get to say it's thrown by the other end of the room. So that was the end of the living statue's go. Omnorake's go. Regenerates 1. Okay. Moves in, breathes fire. Oh, does 2 again. So 1 is prevented with armour. And then the living statue tries to attack it again. And 2 6s again, so it's dead. I think that is dead, so it's going to be another 10, 25, 29. Dead. So eventually it just grabs it, slings it across the room. 1 dead bird. Well, it was a nice idea. I think if the Omnorake was immune to criticals, this would have been a very, very, very different story. But because the Omnorake is not, when it was being grabbed, it was doing 5 damage to it each time. So that was the curtains for it. I feel immune to criticals, very different story, but it wasn't. So another win for our current champion, the living statue, the metal living statue. So we'll have another one next week, and we'll see how that one goes.